What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you the best defense in Madden 20 as of right now, especially for those of you that are still, for whatever reason, having trouble stopping the run. Now, the run is definitely overpowered this year, but there's been some new run defenses over the past month that have come out, and they do a really good job against the run. Now, if you're new to the channel and you want to always be up to date on the best Madden tips, and especially the Madden news like Madden 21 info that'll be coming out soon, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell icon so that you don't miss any of the important uploads. Now, in my recent update video, I talked about the 2-4-5 run defense that was patched, but in that video I also mentioned the 3-3-5 wide run defense, and a lot of people were asking me what was that defense. They don't know about it. Now, this has been out for about a month, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know exactly who came up with it. A few people claim they came up with it. A few YouTubers have posted it. I try to, as much as I can, stay away from the most popular things lately, just because if I bring you something, I want to bring you something different. But a lot of you have asked about it and want to know how to run it. So I'm going to show you how to run the 3-3-5 wide run defense, and it's what I have been using, and I haven't really not had trouble stopping the run since I started using this defense. Again, not really sure exactly who, quote unquote, came up or discovered it, but this is what a lot of people are running now. So what a lot of people do is come out in the cover 2 man. Now I'm going to show you different aspects about the defense. I'm going to also show you something with cover 4 and just certain adjustments you want to be mindful of, because it is a very all-out run defense if you run it a specific way. So the way that, at least to my knowledge, that you set up the run defense is you first spread the D line, which is left on the D-pad, up on the D-pad, then you want to crash the D-line down, left on the D-pad, down on the right stick. So it looks like that. A lot of people, I think, like to press the defense. It's up to you if you want to do that. To press is wire triangle down on the left stick. And then what they do is they take their safeties and they put them into QB spies. So if you get on your safety, if you're on Xbox, you press the A button and then left on the right stick. If you're on PlayStation, you would hit the X button and then left on the right stick. And I'll have the setup in the description. And then what people do is they just use the middle linebacker, and they just kind of just follow where the run goes. So if it's a stretch, they shoot out for the stretch, and it's going to be very hard for you. Like right there, of course, Zeke broke a couple tackles and he got 4 yards, which is fine. Running backs are going to break tackles sometimes, but it's very rare without a broken tackle that the running back's going to get more than a couple yards. They're going to lose yards a lot, especially if you have a good user. You see again there, Zeke broke the first tackle, still only got about a yard. Broken tackles will happen, especially this year, but what you're trying to do is put yourself in the best position to succeed, to have your guys playing the run. And again, you see there, he lost yards. If you're not breaking tackles, it's very rare that this defense is going to get gashed. Doesn't matter if it's a dive or a stretch. Obviously, the dive and the stretch are the famous, 1-2 punch this year that everybody uses. It doesn't matter, because by having these safeties in the spies, you'll notice, we'll go to the replay, they shoot straight down. They immediately fill the gaps. Watch the safeties. They immediately run down, and then by the time they kind of see where the running back's going, they're already there to kind of make a move on it. And right there, he got about 3 yards, which is fine. As long as you're not giving up 5-yard gains, 4 or 5-yard gains every play, you're really good in terms of run defense, especially in Madden 20. And, but they see right there, we hit them in the backfield. That's going to happen a lot. So you just want to keep them, 2 yards and less, and that's what this defense does. It makes it really hard to get beat. Now, other things to be mindful of, though, right? Because there are people that, will see you come out in this, and if they know you're putting your safeties and spies every play, and they're, a decent player, they're not just someone that's just trying to spam the run every play. If they are mixing in the pass, you've got to be mindful of that, because, there are instances where, if they have unbumpable routes or even just a streak, right? Like, you see how Cooper just completely toasted the DB there. Now, obviously, Cooper's a much better wide receiver than that cornerback, but even if you have a top-tier wide receiver on a top-tier cornerback, a lot of the times the wide receiver will win off the line this year and get behind him. So that's something you have to be mindful of. If you're playing someone that does mix in the pass, you have to be a little bit different with your adjustments sometimes, especially if you're like an ultimate team player where everybody's got high-end players across the board, right? So if you're playing someone that just wants to spam the run, that they really can't think of anything else, you can literally just spread D-line, crash D-line down, And like I said, and put your safeties and spies, and you're good every play. If they're just, I'm spamming the run, I don't want to pass, I don't know how to pass, you're good money. They're never really going to go anywhere. But if they are mixing in the pass a good bit of the time, you might want to try the cover 4 out of the same formation. It's called cover 4 show 2. Now, this isn't going to stop the run as good as the first setup. Reason being because we're not going to put our safeties and spies here. So we do the same, otherwise. We spread the D-line, crash down. We can press the defense if we want. But instead, you're going to leave your safeties in the deep quarters. Now, the deep quarter is like the next best thing to a spy in terms of they're going to attack the run pretty quickly, but if they were to pass, they're also going to have good deep coverage because we're keeping them in their zone. So this is why cover 4, especially in years past, has been a really popular way to stop the run, because the safeties in a cover 4, they don't immediately drop back unless it's a pass. If it's a run, they're going to stand flat-footed, kind of read the play first, and once they see the running back get the ball, they're going to shoot forward. So they're going to stay where they are. They're not going to immediately drop back and take themselves out of the play. But unlike the spy, they're not going to immediately come forward the second the ball snaps. So it's kind of like an intermediate way to stopping the run, and your user is going to have to be a little bit better if you're running the cover 4, but you don't have to worry about getting bombed. So you can see how the safety stood still there. Again, there's really no running lanes, and Zeke still lost yards there, right? We'll go to the replay to show you what I'm talking about. So watch the safeties. Now, when we had them in spies, they immediately ran forward at the snap of the ball. Here, notice the safeties are standing still. But notice the cornerbacks. The cornerbacks are dropping back like normal. They're backpedaling, but the safeties are standing still. And as soon as they see it is a run, they start coming forward. So while they're not shooting forward as quickly, they're still staying somewhat in the box, and they're going to attack quickly once the running back does get the ball. And of course here, the outside linebacker here got a good push, which made our defense a little bit better on this play. But even if he didn't, you could see we have the guys kind of rallying over there to stop him, right? So let's go to a different run really quickly. I want to show you just some different scenarios and things you need to be aware of. So another very popular one is the I-form H-wing stretch alert lookie. Now, this is where it comes in handy to kind of be mindful about what plays your opponent's running. So if you see this formation, almost anybody running this formation is running this stretch. They're running the stretch RPO. There's only a couple playbooks in the game that actually have a stretch out of this formation that isn't an RPO, meaning that it's a stretch you can flip to either side. But like I said, if they're running the RPO version, the stretch has to go to the tight end side. You cannot flip this play. So that's important for you to know. If you know that your opponent's running that, for example, if you're running the man defense, again, you spread the D-line, crash down, you can press. Knowing that, you might want to only put this right side safety into a spy, and you might want to leave this safety deep, just for the off chance that maybe they pull out a play action, or they just want to do a quick pass and they think that you're just committing everybody to the run and they're putting Cooper here on a streak. You still have a safety over the top so that you don't get burnt. But because you know this run is going to the right and it's not really a balanced formation, like in the same way that like an I-form close is a little bit more balanced across the board, this safety is the furthest guy away from the play. So likely you don't really need him to help stop the run. It would be nice to have him, but you don't need it, right? As long as you're decent with your user. So that's something to be mindful of. You can leave him deep because you know that this run can only go to the tight end side. So you don't have to worry about them flipping the run. And then again, you get over here with your user. You see there's just no good running lanes versus this. That's why it's good. Like even right there, we didn't get into the backfield immediately or like shoot the gaps immediately, but there was no good running lanes for Zeke there. We were able to get over there with our user. Right there, we were a little bit late and we gave up a touchdown. So there's our first touchdown we gave up, and that was on me as the user. I'm trying to use both controllers, so I'm just getting over there like a lot later than I would be in a regular game. But if I'm a little bit more on the ball, I would have shot out there a little bit more aggressively like this, got in the backfield, and even if he didn't get that tackle there, I was right there at the 30-yard line to get him. So you see what I'm kind of talking about. And if they run the dive, same thing. If you want to put both safeties and spies, you can, but if you're worried about that receiver, you can leave him deep there, and you can just have to, get in here with your user, try to hold your ground. And again, I was really bad with my user there, so he got a decent gain. But if I was better with my user, I shoot right through and he doesn't gain any yards. But again, I'm using both controllers, so it's a little bit harder when you have to snap the ball and get back to the next controller. You can't shoot like you normally would. Right there, I shot into the backfield, muddied it up, he got a yard. So you kind of get the idea. But again, if you want to be safer, you can just go to the cover 4. because this way you're still going to have this guy over the top just in case. But if it is a run, it's the best of both worlds, because if it's a run, they're going to attack. If it's not a run, they're going to drop back and they're going to defend the deep pass. So it's just, like I said, a more safe way to not completely get destroyed. And again, like sometimes, yes, you're going to give up a decent run. It's Madden 20. You're not going to stop the run for negative yards every single time you're on defense. But as you can see, the far majority of the time, the running backs either gain no yards or gain very minimal yards. And it's really hard to make a living like that in this game, getting 2 yards a play, 3 yards. Maybe every once in a while you do get a 5 or 7 yard gain, but on a play-to-play basis, you're not getting 4 to 5 yards, and it's going to make your opponent have to pass more and make your opponent have to mix it up a little bit more. And a lot of people just aren't capable of doing that this year, because they've just been so used to being able to run the ball every play that they're not used to having these multiple plays where they're getting no yards or getting 1 to 2 yards, and it's very, very just frustrating for them, because they don't really have, a lot of these players don't have a plan B. So this is pretty much how you run it. I'll have the setup in the description. It's really easy. It's what I've been using. I really haven't had any problem stopping the run for the most part, out of the occasional broken tackle or just, the defense dumbs out every once in a while here or there. Outside of that, I haven't had problems stopping runners for the entire last month, 5 weeks that I've been using this. So check it out, see if it works for you, and as always, I will see you guys next time.